So, so I finally got probably 99.999% of my book. Like seriously, I got 999.99% of my book. I'm sure as I keep writing, I will get the rest of it as I keep writing. But developing the framework and the framework of thought had to be done, and it took going through so many layers and layers of energy and evolution. And so, you know, this this type of creative thought process does come from the energy in the environment, from the different layers of healing from the viruses. Thank God for my ability to be able to understand what goes on, and so that way I can maximize this potential. And so, you know, the Jilly juice is very different than the holistic allopathic world. Like super, super different because it's not taken away from your body and dimming the intelligence. It actually is adding resources to your body and it's adding innovation. Okay, so what is creating, from nothing is not really creating from nothing. It's really creating from nothing is taking what you didn't even know existed outside of your purview and bring that to surface. And so then this is where the new ideas and new innovation come from. Was that what you thought wasn't possible, but that also wasn't even invented yet. I mean, the whole point of the Jilly juice is to give you the pathway to go beyond what is already on the menu and give yourself another avenue that wasn't even paved, and then you pave the way. And so, I don't know. I wonder if people take inventory on who they are, what they want to be, what their future is. I wonder if people really do take inventory on what they want to see for the future for themselves and for their kids. I mean, every time I go on YouTube and I listen to some like murder story, because I don't know why I'm so interested, people who are in the criminal element, they have a lot of intelligence, okay? A lot of hormones, a lot of intelligence, a lot of energy. And you could think that I'm taking on negative energy, but no, remember, I convert energy. And so those that have been convicted of crimes or those that are telling stories about what they've experienced in other countries of where someone was murdered or something, what brought them to that country and what was the circumstances around that, what was the energy behind it. And so I think that's, in a lot of ways, why the West is trying to step in and help countries get to another level of evolution, because when you have people, let's say, that come into there that want to expand that country's potential and bring in foreign investors, well, you have people who are from the old world that don't want to evolve, and then you have the two worlds meeting, and people who are ambitious in the old world are want to get into the new world, and the people that are in their world get jealous of the fact that they are trying to evolve. And so I'm like, I was listening to that murder story because this young investor who is an agent for like Century 21 went into Nicaragua and was selling houses to the West. And it's like a little enclave of just, a beautiful paradise. And so he fell in love with a girl that had a skill, and she's beautiful, very tall, and had a skill of making clothes. And he helped her figure out a business plan. He helped her figure out what it takes to run a business. And then she started, running her business out of Nicaragua. But of course, the people in her world were jealous. And so she was inevitably, I guess, murdered when he finally left and wanted to expand to Costa Rica. And so he was pretty honest saying that he didn't want a relationship, but he definitely sampled the wares, of that country, which I think is probably the downside of when somebody goes in and, tries to expand the innovation to a people that are not ready. And then when they do finally see that there's somebody who can make money and they haven't had access to that, and then somebody also is procreating, people get tripped out. So it's like the old world and the new world, colliding all the time. Even now, I can understand now why I've run up against so much resistance, because of the old world and the new world colliding yet again. And then you have things like Dr. Phil and things like BuzzFeed and Newsweek and Daily Mail and all that. And it's just like, oh my God, just take this down to Nicaragua and some Westerner going in and selling real estate to the West, to people. So it's like, wow. And so anyway, but what he's doing, he's kind of like, even though it's not from nothing, he was creating from nothing. He was bringing in foreign investors to then raise the people to another level of evolution, of which they were like, oh my God. And then they saw the possibility that they can actually live like a king, I guess. And they were jealous that they didn't learn that skill and that she did. And so, and that foreign investor, that young guy, wasn't going to teach everybody in the village how to make money. He was only teaching her because he was stepping her. And so it's like, yeah, you could see why there was so much jealousy, because they didn't have access to the same resources. And resources is also the brain. It's also the ability to add something to your body, which adds a different perspective. It adds a different innovation, it adds a different idea. And so the medical holistic system is totally played out because they keep taking your intelligence away from you. You realize that they do that right at birth. They take your intelligence away from you. When they do the circumcision, they're taking intelligence away from you. I mean, it happens at birth. Now, you can always regrow that intelligence, but it doesn't come without a price. Yeah, it's going to be painful. And so, parents and new parents need to really rethink the medical system, especially at birth, because of all of the manipulations and the things they take away as soon as you're born. Now, I know they're saying, well, we're trying to help transition, which I get. I mean, I understand that. But that's adding. So, when you get therapeutics, you're getting added, like injections, you're getting added programming. But when they start cutting things off your body without even anesthesia, that's taking something away and adding trauma. At least when you're getting a vector, you're getting something that's coming into your body that you can go and convert, if you understand the power of converting energy. But if you don't understand the power of converting energy, then you're going to be afraid of everything. And then here's the thing, is that we have so much electrical soup out there, and so many people who do not have the capacity to handle that energy source. And they're going to be eaten alive, because I'm telling you, there is going to be virus after virus after virus after virus. And I'm telling you, I've been feeling it. And so if I'm feeling it now, I'm saying, okay, I'm taking a hiatus from, I have one more event that I'm going to sometime this month. And that's the last event. That's the last hangout, dinners, I don't even say party. I don't really party, but I'll go to dinner with people and hang out for a couple hours. Okay. I'm not doing any of that until my book is done. I am doing no socializing, none, because I'm tired of having to recover from being out in the public. Well, you're so healthy. Why are you getting sick? Because it's all freaking evolution. That's the whole point of the Jilly Juice, is you evolve. You have to go through all your predispositions. And when the environment changes, then you have to go and evolve to the level of that environment. So you go through an evolution, which are symptoms, of which I was, the other day I was tired. Okay. I was tired after I went out. My husband went and got a really cool thing for him, another toy for him, which is fine. I spent at least half the day hanging out with him doing that. And then, I was exposed to different variants, which, okay, no big deal. I mean, I was at Walmart yesterday and the checker was sniffing behind and, snarking behind her mask. Great. But everybody out there is evolving. Everybody out there. We're going to be going through these variants for such a long time. And so now I have to say, okay, I think I've evolved. My husband brings home stuff, so it's not like I'm not getting exposed to the environment. but I don't need to be going into the electrical soup anytime soon. I get a little bit of the soup when he comes home because he's in so many environments. And so, yeah, this electrical soup is what will cause someone's demise and cannibalize them from the inside out and the outside in, or it will evolve you and accelerate your innovation. So if you're working on something and you're trying to write a paper, or you're trying to solve an equation or solve a problem or figure out something in your world, and you're doing maybe a little bit of Jilly juice, maybe not, you're eating the food supply, all the 5G and all the viruses out there are doing whatever they're doing, and then all of a sudden you wake up, or you're in your dreams, or you wake up with the answer. You're like, oh my God, this is the answer. Okay? And so this electric soup and everything, and even J juice, which some people need to kind of chill out on because they're already doing labor intensive stuff and they're already exposed to all these variants, that they need to now pack on the pounds. They need to pack on some fat. Okay, because the fat does lead to hormones that will then start regenerating and giving more clear pathways, or clear pathways of communication between systems, of where then, yeah, you might regrow your hair if you're bald. Yeah, you might have other things that you're not aware of that were missing because of modern science. Okay, so fat on the body is so paramount, but not too much fat. Okay, too much fat causes stress to the organs. Not enough fat causes lack of development. Okay, so there's always a happy medium. And you, as the intelligent third eye, must know that there's a happy medium. And so innovation comes from adding something to your system that is going to give you a different perspective. Right now, a lot of you are at such a deficit that you need to take away the imbalances and then refill your body enough to then where it allows it to distribute it to the different places that it needs to. And that's when reversing all cancer, disease, chronic illness, you're getting new ideas, a new lease on life. You have so much energy, but some of you are prematurely using your energy that you're getting from J juice and from your new lifestyle, and you're kind of spending that currency before you really earn it. And it's going to put you behind the eight ball yet again if you don't learn how to use your currency wisely. So also too, innovation also comes from not always picking what's out there on mainstream and developing your own business, your own ideas, developing something that hasn't been tapped. So let's say Jilly Juice is like the foundation. You know how many lifestyles out there, how many situations out there that people experience while they're on the J Juice they can write about? You know how many people out there that are mothers at home that are looking at J Juice but don't even see really anyone they can relate to, because I don't have any kids. You know, people out there would want to read about someone who has kids that are doing J Juice and the kids are doing amazing. I mean, you have proof that they had this issue and they were on the J Juice and now this issue is gone. And so it's not like you don't have any kind of like substantial proof behind what you're doing. When you're doing the J Juice, you know, you can show that, so that way people leave you alone and not think that you're just kind of like dreaming a pie in the sky dreams of, yeah, J Juice is going to do this for my kid, and they're still suffering from some kind of disorder. And you're trying to put it out there that you're doing J Juice, but you have seen no like results that are, you know, indisputable. So, you know how many mothers out there, they're dealing with kids that have autism, have all these different things, would love to hear a mother's perspective that has gone through the fire and came out the other side totally amazing. I mean, those are the types of things that J Juice can offer people if you're able to master the written word and you're able to articulate and you have a strong, thick skin, and you know, you're not feeling like you're going to compromise your social position in whatever. And so Jilly Juice has a lot of openings for people, like so many. And there's so many lifestyles. There's people who are digital nomads. There are people who are motorcyclists or cyclists. There are people who are, I don't know, writers and speakers and motivational whatever. And it's like Jilly Juice can give people such another level. Because, yeah, I mean, I've seen all the great speakers out there. Oh my God, the motivational speakers in the network marketing area, that's another word wizardry of selling the illusion, selling the dream, of which I was definitely part of for a minute. And I've actually been watching the Jodi Arias trials. I don't know why I get something from it, but watching those Jodi Arias trials of Travis Alexander, and they were part of PPL, prepaid legal. And I did prepaid legal for maybe 6 or 7 months. And so I've been to some of the conventions out there. I've kind of done it all actually out there when it comes to sales. And yes, there are major charismatics in a lot of these industries that are selling you an MLM, selling you a dream. Here, you sell this unit, whatever it is, and you're going to have, then they show these slides of like nice cars, and these speakers are posting pictures of their families going on these great vacations. And if you hit this mark, this mark, this mark, we'll pay for your dream vacation. And so it's the industry of selling dreams and selling a unit that, okay, could probably sell itself, but is it lucrative for this person to sell this specific thing unless you get them to think that they're going to have some kind of easy street at some point because they see it, in the company that this person made 100,000, this person did this. And so, and it's a part of the insurance world as well. And so what if you didn't have to sell somebody else's dream? What if you actually are able to sell your own dream? Sell, your experience of there's so much out there. Not everything has been thought up yet, you guys. Yeah, we have Facebook, we have cars, we have, Google, we have, apps that you could do. There's all these, what if you didn't have to go into the health and wellness world and you found something completely outside of the health and wellness world that was so innovative? And I couldn't tell you what it is because I'm not in those industries. But if you're in those industries or been exposed to different industries and you're doing the J-Juice and you see there's a need somewhere, but no one really thought of how to remedy that with an innovation or an application or whatever. And then you're like, oh, wait, what if you did this, you did this, you did this? And then you think about it and you put so much energy. Imagine what new things can come up. And then you write a business plan and then you go and try to get investors. And then there you go. You're on your way to being your own boss. You're on your way to actually having something that you invented because you cleared a pathway and you didn't take away intelligence from your body. You added to intelligence to your body. And so that's the whole point of Jilly Juice, is to actually, bring up the blind spots. And how do you bring up blind spots if you have them? Well, you have to be able to clear the pipes first and add some intelligence to your body, like adding food. Okay, and so that's right now. I'm in the process of all this trinity of stuff I've been doing. So I have like, how many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17 trinities of whatever. Oh my God. I have the trinity of reactions. I have the trinity of change management. I have the trinity of just a trinity, action, reaction, and then intelligence. Then trinity of belief systems, trinity of communication, trinity of life, trinity of intention, trinity of disease, trinity of death, trinity of lifespans, trinity of potential, whole systems, trinity of potential, trinity of implementation, trinity of class systems, trinity of human identity, trinity of intelligence, trinity of illusions. That wasn't there a couple years ago. That was developed over time as I was writing and speaking and inventing. And I'm telling you, when you finally are able to add intelligence to your body, you add innovation. And then when you're hungry, like I ate the other day, like when I got exposed to another freaking variant, I ate a bunch of food and a croissant. Like I was stuffed, like, why am I eating this croissant? Like I have no need, I had dinner. Why am I eating this croissant? Like I actually went and got the croissant, put it in the microwave, heated it up, and just was eating it like I was starving. And sometimes you have to feed your body during times of major electric soup of that day because of all that energy and the viruses and all that stuff. They're now trying to evolve you to another level. And then you release the next day a bunch of stuff. If you've trained your sphincter to release a bunch of stuff, and then all of a sudden you have a new clearing, and then wow, you're able to think of things that you never thought you could think of, much less what other people are like, you came up with that? What the hell? Because you saw where I came from. You saw that I came from the holistic world, focusing on candida. Then it was all on the diet stuff, right? Demonizing sugar and meat and milk and cheese and carbs and oh my God. And then finally I evolved because the COVID came around, changed the salt from the pink salt to the white salt because I thought that we couldn't get pink salt from overseas because of all the trade things going on at the time. And then it brought me to another level of evolution that you're going to get minerals in the water and the food supply, so you don't need it in the pink salt. So that's where the white salt came from. And then all of a sudden, things were evolving. So everything starts with an idea that probably seeded from what's already out there, and then you develop something from that because you're actually clearing the pipes. Over this whole time, I've been clearing the pipes. And then I've been hypothesizing this and studying that and practicing using new words and all of that. And that's the thing about innovation, is that you actually put what you want to get out of it. I mean, that's fine if you're in a trade or you're in something that you're doing and you want to better that trade, or maybe have a new idea that you have already the foundation to, build a house. And so how do you then build something or do something, which you're probably already doing, to make people's lives easier, to make their house look better, to save them money in the long run? What could you devise that would be just a surefire, that would be easily, sold on the open market without too much government interference? But even then, you could still deal with the government if it's already gone through the regulations. So I'm just saying that, not just J juice, but the food supply. J juice is the energy, the food supply is the intelligence. And so the energy, since you guys have probably done the J juice for a while, most of you, now it's eating all the food and releasing without having to use J juice, always do waterfalls. Okay? Because, I've gained some weight. I got some boobs, I got a butt, I got some thighs. I'm like, I'm just very, very robust, and I'm strong, and I could be quick if I need to be. Strategic, yes. I get very good sleep, and I feel comfortable, and I am inventive. And then and I had to, get away from all of the socializing crap out there, and I need to focus. And so there's nothing wrong with gaining a little bit of weight, women. I'm serious. The intelligence is in the fat. The intelligence is not only in muscle, but it's in the fat. Intelligence is in the food supply. It's not just eating a tomato or eating your veggies. It's eating that croissant. It's eating that donut. It's eating that hamburger. Intelligence is in the food supply. It's not playing the GMO versus organic. You see how many women that are out there that are so skinny? They're doing J juice. They're so skinny. There's no fat to them. They haven't come up with any new testimony or any new idea. Maybe that's not their purview, but imagine if you gained some weight. Imagine if you didn't have to sell the illusion out there. Imagine if there was something that you saw that needed to be innovated or invented, and then you put that energy and you put your body and your mind and your spirit towards that. Holy crap. Hey, John, you're welcome. So I'm just saying, the clue to creating from nothing is not really creating from nothing. It's taking what you didn't even know existed because you never gave yourself that opportunity and added something to yourself instead of keep taking away. And the holistic allopathic system takes intelligence away progressively, year by year. And then when people have predispositions that they don't fix, and they allow them to maintain their same biochemistry, but you see them suddenly either getting very, very skinny, like very malnourished, or they're blowing up. And you see that in guys that are in their 40s. They got the dad bod. The dad bod is the overaccumulation of what could be distributed correctly, but it keeps them in a very predictable existence. And then, yes, inevitable outcomes will happen. And so what if that didn't have to be? Okay, and that's all. Then that's the whole thing with Jade Juice. It is innovation. It really is not regurgitation. It is the old world and the new world coming together, and then you are strong enough to fight against the old world and bring in the new world, whatever that means. And that means different to everybody. But yet be very cognizant of when you have the new world that you don't exploit it and exploit somebody else because of it. And that's what happened over there in Nicaragua. The new world came into the old world, exploited it, procreated with somebody in there, made everybody jealous, and then she gets murdered, and he's now, like, he was in jail for a minute because they thought he did it. So you want to be very careful with the power of the new world. Give people the option. Don't play God with your gifts when you do the J Juice. Because yes, there'll be jealous people out there that see you're doing amazing, and like, what is she doing? What is he doing? And generosity and helping your community, because you don't be the only one in your community, being innovative. I mean, that's playing God, yes, but then you're gonna have to make new friends all this. And they're gonna be like, dude, haven't you, like, they think you're a vampire. I mean, let's fast forward all of this, to like 500 years later, and you've gone through 5 different, actually 10 different generations. People are dying at 50 because of how things are, and you've been around for 500 years. They're going to think you're a vampire. They're going to be watching the Vampire Diaries and be like, dude, John, dude, Jen, dude, this person. You've been around. My grandma knew you, and you look the same that you did, when she knew you than you do now, And that's the thing, is you want people in your world to be doing what you're doing, so that way you have confirmation that you're not some weird alien vampire. So, I don't know, just things that I think about. But the path to innovation is understanding words and using words, and then making a clearing in your body, clearing your lymph nodes, clearing your gut, clearing your colon, and adding some fat and muscle to your body. Because if you're still trying to maintain an image, then there's not going to be anything new out there. You're maintaining the same illusions that everybody else is trying to maintain. Wealth, health, and stealth. All right, bye.